Hello, friends. Welcome to today's football predictions on Betkraft. Okay, it's another beautiful Tuesday morning. A Champions League Tuesday night. Okay, and we do have so many games that is going on across the globe. And among these many, we're able to select a few that we looked into and for bringing it forward for you. And also, majorly in our predictions today, we have mainly Champions League matches. And promises to be a very exciting one. And the likes of Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain coming up, locking horns today, and some other very exciting matches in our predictions today. So, in a short while, we'll be looking at these games one after the other and making our predictions, based on recent performances for each of these clubs. And I want to ask those of us who are coming across our video for the first time, to come to kindly take our time to hit the subscribe button down there so that you don't miss out, on our subsequent games that will always come up on this channel on a daily basis. All right, don't miss out. Okay, that being said, all right, without further ado, let's get to the business of today, and we'll be starting with the very first match, which is the biggest match of the night. Arsenal coming up against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League match. All right, as usual, we'll take a look at how these two teams have fared in recent times, and also, look at their performances from home and away perspective. You could see that for Arsenal, the home side, they've won 3 games in the last 6 matches that they had. They've also had 3 draws as well. And when you look at Paris Saint-Germain, their away side have won 5 games out of the past 6 matches, but they've also had 1 draw in the last 6 games that they had. And when you look at how these two teams have fared, from home and away perspective, you could see that looking at Arsenal, we saw Arsenal, achieving 7 victories in the last 10 home games. They've not lost a single match in the last 10 home games. They've won 7 games out of the last 10, and they've also had 3 draws as well in the last 10 home encounters for Arsenal side. A very fine side. We saw them defeating Leicester City during the weekend, by 4 goals to 2. And we also saw Paris Saint-Germain, who have played from away in the past 10 away games, have been able to achieve 5 victories in the 6 victories actually in the last 10 away games that they had, but they've also had 4 draws as well as 1 loss in the last 10 away games that they had. And we know that we saw recent Arsenal side how they did against teams like Manchester City, and we could say that Arsenal is quite in a very fine form at the moment, and playing from Emirates, playing from home. Honestly, we'll be expecting a good result for the home side Arsenal, and we expect nothing but a home win for Arsenal in this very one. Considering the quality of play and the quality of players that these two teams are having, we really expect Arsenal to actually achieve a victory in this one. It is home win. That's what we expect in this very encounter. Arsenal to win outrightly. That's our verdict. That takes us to the next. And it is also in the UEFA Champions League where we have Stuttgart, who will be up against Sparta Praha. All right, Stuttgart in the German side have been able to win 3 games in the last 6. They've also had 2 draws as well as 1 loss in the last 6 recent games. But away side, Sparta Praha, the Czech Republic side, have been able to manage 4 victories in the last 6 games. They've also had 1 draw as well as 1 loss. All right, when you look at how these two teams fared from home and away perspective, you see that playing from home, Stuttgart have actually won 8 games in the last 10 home games that they had. They've also had 2 draws as well. And Sparta Praha, on the other hand, have also as well won 8 games in the last 10 away games that they had, but they've lost 1, and they've also had 1 draw in the last 10 away games. All right, and that tells you a lot about this side. 80% of the matches have actually resulted to win for both sides, and it's also going to be a very tough game. If you ask me, but we saw Stuttgart in recent times, doing so well in the last home game they had. We saw them beating Borussia Dortmund by 5 goals to 1. Prior to that, we saw them, against Karlsruhe and beating them by 4 goals to 1. So it is a lot of goals, coming up recently in the matches for Stuttgart. And also, Sparta Praha in the last 10 away games have actually always scored a minimum of 2 goals in the last 10 away games for them. And after also that, in this very encounter, we expect to see so many goals as well. But verdict for this very game, see that Sparta Praha is a very strong side, and they like that usually pull some tricks, and we expect to see this side. We actually resort to handicap in this very one. And our verdict is actually Sparta Praha to win with handicap 2. All right, so that is to say, they have 2 goals already, and at the end of the match, they are going to come up winner. So it is handicap 2 for this very match, and away side to win. That's what we expect. Okay, and that goes to the next prediction, and it is also in the UEFA Champions League. Also, we will have PSV coming up against Sporting Lisbon. All right, PSV have won 5 games in the last 6, and they've also had one loss. And we side Sporting Lisbon have won the entire 6 games that they played in recent times. And when you look at how these two teams are fared, from home and away perspective, you could see that playing from home, PSV have actually won 7 games in the last 10 home games. They've also had 2 draws, but they've lost 1 out of those 10 home games that they have so far. 70% of the home matches have seen them winning outrightly, and have been scoring a lot of goals as well. And seeing that 8 games out of the past 10 home games have actually produced over 2.5 for the home side. And looking at Sporting Lisbon, their away side, they've also have won 7 games from away. They've also had 2 draws as well, and 1 loss in the last 10 away games that they had so far. And looking at how they fared, you could see that 7 games out of the past 10 away games for them have actually produced lots of goals, over 2.5 in the minimum. And when you put all that together, also noting the fact that the last time both teams met, Sporting played from home on that occasion. That was in 2019. They were able to defeat PSV by 4-0. So in this very encounter, we'll definitely expect a lot of goals in this one. And fighting for this very game is actually a minimum of 3 goals, over 2.5 in this very encounter. That's our verdict. Okay. All right, that takes us to the next game for today. It is also in UEFA Champions League match where we'll have Bayer Leverkusen, the German champions, coming up against AC Milan. All right, when you look at the recent games for both sides, you see Leverkusen, the home side, have won 4 games out of the past 6. They've also had 1 draw as well as 1 loss in the last 6 subsequent encounters for the home side. And AC Milan, on the other hand, the away side, been able to achieve 3 victories in the last 6 games. They've also had 2 losses as well as 1 draw in the last 6 recent games that they played out so far. And when you take a look at how these two teams have fared, considering the performances from home and away perspective, you can see Bayer Leverkusen, the home side, have been able to achieve 5 victories in the last 10 home games that they had. They've also been able to achieve 4 draws as well, and losing out on 1 occasion. But that was in the Bundesliga match against Leipzig, where they lost out by 2-3. To Leipzig in that occasion unexpectedly. So when you look at our away side, on the other hand, AC Milan, they've won 2 games from away, in the last 10 away games that they had, and including the win against Inter Milan as well as Man City. Those are, high profile winning. And when you look at, we look closely, you can also see that they've also had 4 draws as well, and also 4 losses in the last, 10 away games that they had. And, when you put all this together, we'll expect to see the home side, achieving a result in this one, seeing that they're playing from home, and we expect nothing less than a home win for the home side for Bayer Leverkusen against AC Milan. It is actually going to be a minimum of over 2.5 actually, but the scale is slightly tilting towards Bayer Leverkusen achieving a victory, but we expect to see a minimum of 3 goals in this one. Over 2.5, that's our verdict for this very encounter. Okay, and let's head to the next, and it is in Northern Ireland Cup, where we'll have Ballyclare Comrades coming up against Crusaders. Okay, and looking at the home side, Ballyclare Comrades have actually won 2 games in the last 6 matches that they had. They've lost 4 out of those 6 matches, and the away side Crusaders have won 2 games, are also losing 3, as well as 1 draw in the last 6 matches that they had. And when you look at how these two teams are fared from home and away perspective, you can see that for the home side, the Comrades have actually won 2 games in the last 10 home appearances, and they've actually lost 5 games, and they've also had 3 draws. All right, 2 games winning in the last 10 home matches, drawing 3 as well as losing 5 out of it. And the last home game they played was against Bangor, and they lost that game by 2-3. And we're looking at Crusaders, the away side. They've actually been able to achieve 6 victories in the last 10 away games that they had. They've also lost 2. They've also lost 3 games out of it, and they've had 1 draw. But we know that Crusaders are a very good side. We saw how they fared in the last away game they had. We saw them defeating La Pau by 4 goals to 0 on that occasion. And when you look at how these two teams fared, the last time they met was in August. That was last 2 months. We saw Crusaders defeating the side from away by 6 goals to 2, and prior to that, we also saw Crusaders beating them by 2 goals to 1. And the last 4 head-to-head meetings have actually resulted to victory for Crusaders against this very side, and we do expect a win for the away side, Crusaders to take the day today and win outrightly in this very game. It is away side to win outrightly. That's what we expect. All right, that brings our predictions for you today on Betkraft to a conclusion. I wish you the very best of luck, and I also hope your ticket goes green. Also, remember to play responsibly. These are football games, all right? Anything can happen. All right, that being said, tomorrow is another day, and we'll be coming up with our predictions on this very channel. Do not miss out. But until then, keep winning.